There's going to be a lot of protests in Washington on Wednesday. Protests are fine. Civil protests are fine. What's not fine is violence. We criticize, with reason, violence engaged in by the left. I will criticize violence if it's engaged in by the right as well. This is not a time for violence. We are a country of laws. We live by the rule of law. We are a constitutional republic. We got to remember that. The Constitution will survive this. We just have to remember that playing by the rules, sometimes the other side may not. We should still do it, because ultimately that's how the Constitution survives. All right, we come back from the break. I'm going to take your calls. Let me say thank you again. Look, folks, I'm giving you the reality. I could have come in here and said this plan by Senator Cruz is going to. And I think it's perfectly valid and legitimate, but I'm giving you what I think the outcome's going to be, and I don't think the outcome's going to be what a lot of you want. I don't see the votes there. The court cases have not turned up the evidence. And I don't think an electoral commission will get appointed, let alone succeed. Listen, some of you are hearing and repeating their calls for violence and violent. Let me tell you something. That is a really bad idea. First of all, you're breaking the law. Second of all, that's not the way the Constitution works. Third, we live in a constitutional republic. And the way to handle this is not to take violence and go to the streets. Listen to what Senator Cruz, who is leading the effort on this, actually said. This is Bite 5.
I think everyone needs to calm down. I think we need to tone down the rhetoric. This is already a volatile situation. It's like a tinderbox and throwing lit matches into it. And so I think the kind of hyperbole we're seeing, the kind of angry language, yesterday when I released my statement with 10 other senators, I had multiple Democrats urging that I should be arrested and tried for the crimes of sedition and treason. Now, look, that's not helpful. At a time when this country, when we're pitted against each other, just relax and let's do our jobs.
There was a lawyer calling for Mike Pence to be, brought before a tribunal for, basically disloyalty to the United States and treason. And that was, absurd, outrageous, a violation of law and order against everything we stand for, because the vice president is not going to do something he does not have the authority to do, because that'll give you a better result. It's not the country you want to live in when people are taking vigilantism into their own hands. This is dangerous stuff. What they should have done is actually presented facts in court. Apparently, that wasn't accomplished. I wasn't involved in those. It's hard for me to speak at them because I was very tangentially involved in one case that went to the Supreme Court that we got to stay. But they didn't establish it. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just means it wasn't established. And things can happen, Andy, and if it's not established, guess what? The court doesn't intervene.
That's
These
right.
were judges put forward by Donald Trump.